Okay, so before I start recording, I am going to... Okay, that's better. Okay. I am going to basically just tell you what the point of this video is. The point is the importance of mental illness recovery and things not to say to somebody in mental illness recovery. This can go for drugs and alcohol recovery too, but it's mostly focused on mental illness because I have a personal... I have personally dealt with mental illness recovery. And basically, the top 5 important parts of mental illness recovery are basically the 12 steps. Well, that would be 12 parts. That would be the 12 steps. The 12 steps can work for drug and alcohol addiction, but they can also work for mental illness recovery. I mean, even if you don't have a higher power, you can kind of modify the 12 steps to fit your situation and your religious and spiritual views. I personally am a Wiccan right now, but most 12-step programs are Christian, so it doesn't really work for me that well. I mean, asking God to remove your shortcomings, that's part of Wicca. You have free will. You have more free will than in Christianity. So, but the first step is admitting you have a problem. Whether it be self-injury or an eating disorder or a drug recovery or drug abuse. The first step is admitting you have a problem, and I have done that. I've admitted that I had a problem, and the kind of shaky part about admitting you have a problem is admitting it every single second of every day. Whether it's an eating disorder and you have to admit that it's a problem and that it could kill you, because any eating disorder can kill you. Whether it's anorexia, bulimia, binge eating, orthorexia, it can all kill you. Because you're either not getting the nutrients or you're getting too much nutrients and your body is going to be overweight and it can kill you, basically. Or self-injury that leaves lasting scars, and just admitting you have that problem is the first step. And you have to admit it wholeheartedly, or else it won't really click with you. What clicked with me was, this may sound weird, but I have borderline personality disorder and an autism spectrum disorder, and those things can interfere with each other. So the thing that helps me with the borderline is, I don't want to be borderline's bitch, basically. That's what I keep telling myself. Are you gonna let yourself be the bitch of this disease? Are you gonna let it screw you over for the rest of your life? No. So that was admitting that was part of admitting my problem, is admitting that I had a problem and that it could make me its bitch and that I did not want that. So there's the other important thing is that some of these disorders can kill you, like eating disorders, suicidal thoughts, that can all kill you. I mean, you might not care about yourself, but, and this may sound cliche, think of those who do care about you. And I know I'm not trying to guilt trip you or anything, but like, if you have a problem, reach out to those who care about you, because they care pretty much, and it will get better with the help of other people. Whether it be your parents, whether it be your friends, whether it be a guidance counselor. But be careful, because some guidance counselors in some states are required to tell your parents. So if you're not ready for your parents to know about your problem, then... Oh, crap. Then choose somebody else to talk to. Yeah, you need other people. Whether you get a therapist, whether you get a psychiatrist, whether you get none of those. And another thing is, if your local mental health place is more focused on pushing drugs than treating the emotional issues, the underlying emotional issues of the eating disorder or the self-harm or whatever you have, because I have both, and that requires therapy. It doesn't require drugs. There is no self-harm drug. There is no eating disorder drug. Well, I mean, technically there's Prozac, which can help with binge eating, but that can only do so much. You've got to actually work hard on recovery and admit the problem every day. And what I've learned is that if you don't admit the problem every day, like wake up every morning, be like, I have an eating disorder, and if I don't work hard today on recovery, then I might relapse tomorrow. And that is very important because nobody wants to relapse, but sometimes it happens. And you just got to get yourself out of that funk and learn to cope. Because the way I cope with stressful situations is by eating too much or not eating and then purging and all that good stuff. Recently I lost a friend to a drug overdose, accidental, and I learned that she wouldn't want me to suffer like this. So I've got to get better, if not for me, then for her, for my girlfriend, for my mom, for all these people in my life that care about me. I need to learn to care about myself to kind of recover so that other people who care about me don't have to worry. Because my mom worries about whether I'm eating too much or not, about because I'm also a type 1 diabetic, and eating too much can mess with my blood sugars and send me to the hospital real fast. So my mom worries about my blood sugars, and sometimes I just don't have the spoons for recovery, but at that point I've got to make more spoons, which I made a video about it a few months ago, I believe, and how to get spoons back. And you kind of need a lot of spoons for recovery. It takes a lot of dedication, and like my mom says, it's easier to just lay down and take it and just take the shit from your eating disorder, your self-harm, or your depression, or anxiety, or whatever you got going on, than it is to actually work hard at beating it. So you gotta remind yourself that you need these spoons for recovery. So just, if I'm gonna list some things that are non-food related, some coping skills that may increase your spoons, okay? If you have an ASD, an autism spectrum disorder, then special interest time might raise some spoons for you. Stimming might raise some spoons. Basically doing anything you love. There's this DBT skill called self-soothe. I was in DBT therapy in residential for 7 months. And it's basically just using your 5 senses to soothe yourself in a stressful situation. My favorite is, those EOS lip balms? Well, they're everywhere, so you probably do. My favorite is the blueberry. So I like to just put on some lip balm or Carmex, because I really love Carmex. And okay, that would be for smell. For taste, I like to chew gum or drink tea. And for feel, I like to stim and cuddle a stuffed animal. For hearing, I listen to nice calming music like Jasmine Thompson, which I absolutely love Jasmine Thompson. And I will make a post about my coping skills on my blog. I will put a link in the description to my blog. That's a few of my coping skills. Things not to say to somebody in recovery from a mental illness, like an eating disorder or self-harm or whatever. Some people, this one's kind of iffy, this first one, because some people may not find it that offensive, but other people might. So it just depends on whether you got to talk with the person about it. It's a person by person basis. And this one is, you may want to ask them if they have eaten today or if they have self-harmed lately. Well, some people might find that offensive and others might find it helpful. Like, the reason it's offensive to some people is because these things are hard to talk about. Like, if somebody asks me if I have self-harmed recently, and I have, I'm probably going to tell them no, because I don't want, it's a quote unquote shameful thing to hurt yourself, because society has told us that that's weak behavior, and that people aren't weak, that you have to be neurotypical or be dead. Basically, you have to be neurotypical or dead, and that's not right, because some people are neurodivergent and they will act neurodivergent. So don't just, which brings me to my second one. You gotta not tell people to just stop the behavior, because you have to be ready to stop. You have to be ready to get better, and that's a highly personal thing, is being ready to get better. So if a person isn't ready, don't manipulate them by saying, oh, don't do this again, or I won't be your friend anymore, or don't do this again, or I'll send you blah 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 places, because it's like, that's not going to help. But encouragement would be helpful. Like, give them reasons not to self-harm. Be like, because I love you, because you're special, because you're an amazing person. List their amazing qualities: compassionate, caring, intelligent, whatever it may be. Just make sure they know that they don't need this, and that they're better than this, without telling them that they're better than this, because I guess that one's a personal one for me, because I don't really like to be told I'm better than it, because it just makes me feel like, oh, well, this person thinks I should be, but I'm not, so I must be a failure. Another thing not to say to people in recovery, and this one is huge: oh, other people have it worse. That one really gets to me, because for like years I thought that I didn't deserve to admit that I had a problem, because other people had it worse. And it's true that other people may have it worse. Other people have been abused and had bad childhoods and been in foster homes, and it makes me feel so guilty for admitting that I have a problem. Like, that's another thing that could be viewed as manipulation. Like, oh, don't cut yourself because other people have it worse. And basically that's telling the person that since other people have it worse, they don't deserve to feel the feelings that they feel. So that's a big one not to say to somebody in recovery. Just eat. That's another thing not to say to someone in recovery. Or just stop binging. It's not that easy. Like, if you, let's say that you found a way to survive on a deserted island, and then you figured out that that was wrong. The way you found was wrong. Well, people who self-harm and with eating disorders, they know that what they're doing is wrong. They just don't know how to stop it, because it's become so integral to their survival that it's not a choice anymore. That's what I always tell people who have started self-harming and recently started, because once it gets to a certain point, it's not a choice of doing it or not doing it anymore. It's a choice of how much to do it. It's a choice of how badly to do it. It's a choice of when and where. But not doing it isn't an option anymore. So you've got to relearn that option. Okay, I gotta go because I'm running out of time. So just keep all this stuff in mind, okay? Bye.